Good adventure. Good adventure. I'm going to be based in Dublin for, I'd say, two of the next 3 months, I'd say.
So you're not moving?
No, I'm subletting my place. So,
I think the light three times.
yeah, we should really start playing. I like this. Why don't we just see what happens?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
He's fired.
Hi. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Marsha, will you remind Sid to turn off her mic when she's singing? I don't want to be the bad guy.
Wow, that's low. Got a low note. And that's her highest?
We'll go sit when you're
I love
ready.
that.
Is that right? Should she? Do you guys?
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, 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 la 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 la. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Let's open up our prayer books to page number 10 for Yedid Nefesh, my soulmate. Yedid Nefesh Afarachaman, Yedid Nefesh Afarachaman, Meshochav Dechav, Eretz Onecha, Meshochav Dechav, Ya la 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 la, Eretz Onecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemuayal, Yishtachavei la la, Ya la 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 la, El Muchadarecha, Ya la 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 la, Ya la 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 la, Ya la 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 la, Ya la 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 la, Ya la la la, Ya la 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 la, Ya la 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 la, Ya la la
Shalom,
Shabbat
Kendra.
Shalom, Rabbi
Shabbat Shalom,
Mintz.
everybody. It's wonderful to be here with you on this Shabbat. Rabbi Sidney Mintz. This is our new rabbi educator, Rabbi Madeline Budman. So it's wonderful to lead Shabbat services with you tonight. And we have, of course, the amazing Kala Morian on violin and Eric Schoen on percussion and mandolin. And right over there, Dan Zimmerman on the ivory keys. It's really wonderful to be together for Shabbat. So if you have anything that you brought in here that might disturb you or anybody else, I'm just going to ask you to turn it off. Give yourself a moment to unplug. And if you've never done it before, if you haven't turned off your phone ever since you got it, Shabbat's an amazing opportunity to actually turn it off. I heard it actually does your battery good if you turn off the phone for an hour. And maybe because we're getting ready for the month of Elul, which begins this week, the month that prepares us for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, maybe this could be the beginning of a totally new practice where at some point on Shabbat, you totally turn off your phone for a few hours. And then what happens is you get comfortable with it, and then next week you do it 5 hours or 6 hours. And the next thing you know, you're an Orthodox Jew, and you're not losing your electricity or anything. But I think it's a beautiful practice to give ourselves a little bit of a rest from all of that is disturbing to our souls on Shabbat. And we're going to open up our Shabbat service tonight the way we always do and invite our Bar and Bat Mitzvah families, so Tallulah and Ines's family, to the Bima to light the Shabbat candles.
להדליק נר, יא לה 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 לה, להדליק נר של שבת. או יא לה 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 לה, להדליק נר, יא לה 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 לה, להדליק נר, יא לה 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 לה, להדליק נר של שבת. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר, להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Thank you to our B'nai Mitzvah families. You can have a seat, and as you're seated, somebody around you is here by themselves or it's their first time, so turn to somebody you don't know and just say Shabbat Shalom and introduce yourself. Welcome one another. And then we're going to turn to page 20 as we welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת לקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אליך מיוחד אדוני. לשם תפארת ועליתי לך, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ומרחקים מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי
And we turn now to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem is also a prayer that opens us up to the possibilities on Shabbat of the comfort of the angels. We ask for the angels to come, and as I'm looking out, I see people who have recently become Jewish, our 2 young members of the congregation who are going to be adult Jews, people who have lost someone recently, people who are recovering from illness. And all of the angels come to support us through whatever suffering there is, or grief, or joy and gladness. The angels are here to uplift us with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn to page 28, and I invite you to rise in body or in spirit for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Ahavat Olam can be found on page 32.
Ahavat Olam, a love for the world. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shokveinu u'b'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, be'orech yameinu, be'orech yameinu. U'lachem negei yomam balayla, be'achavat echad tasir imenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohed Amo Yisrael.
Shema
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto
Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated.
Next page. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בעם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
When the Israelites stood at the Red Sea, they could see the water. They couldn't even see the wilderness beyond the water. They were standing at the end of slavery, but they couldn't quite see the beginning of what was coming next. But they stepped into the water anyway, without being able to see what came next. I think that is an act of hope that I'm taking with me into the end of Av, the end of our summer, and into Elul, the beginning of the High Holy Day season, the start of our school year. We can't see quite clearly yet what's coming next, but we know that we're ending something, and we're ready to walk through. So please join us for the Song of the Sea, Shirat Hayam Mi Chamocha, on page 40.
Yama, yama, ya,
our time on Shabbat, that we say a blessing for healing, a Misha Beirach. And this particular Misha Beirach that Cantor Addy is going to lead us in, you can hear the aching, you can hear the sounds of the sirens that come in the night. And Rosh Hashanah is called not just the new year, but Yom Teruah, a day when we cry out, the day of tears. So as we say these words of the healing blessing together, we think of the members of our community who need healing, and anyone who is joining us through our live stream. Feel free to put the name of somebody in the chat. Tonight we're thinking of Rusty Holden, Liz McMahon, Shireen Zalis, Susan May, Gail Lagi, Rick Silverman, Rio Peterson, Fran Scher, Pearl Vapnik, Pavel Zaitchik, Adek Marinchik, Annie Alpers, and Julie Schmeising. And if anybody else has the name of a loved one who they'd like us to pray for healing, please say that person's name out loud.
I thank God I'm breathing, but then I pray don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day. Ashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'chavidenu Shomreinu Lechayim. Ashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'chavidenu Shomreinu Lechayim. One day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day, there will be shalom, 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 oh, shalom, shalom, shalom. Thank you, Cantor Addy, that amazing Hashkivenu. And I love what you said of the Michamocha, that we're at this place of hope. No matter how dark the world is, or fragmented, or the broken pieces, we know the light's going to be right there because the sun is going to be setting through the windows every single night. And that gives us some comfort. And we say when we go to sleep these words of the Hashkivenu, give us the opportunity to sleep tonight. And when our soul is out of our bodies and we're dreaming, we say in the morning, the Moda'ani, we say thank you for returning our soul to us. So I love the thoughts of Hashkivenu, which, who here has had any difficult sleeping in the last 4 years? It's the prayer that says we're all having a hard time. There's things that are disturbing or disrupting us. Hashkivenu says, let my soul go out at night. And the Moda'ani says, thank you, God. It's going to come back to me in the morning. As we take our own personal prayers with that of our community, we rise together for Tefillah on page 46. Adonai, Adonai, Sefatai Tivka, Ufi, Ufi, Agi, Tegilatecha. Ufi, Agi, Let's turn to page 352 in your Siddur. This is a song that was written by Naomi Shemer. Some of you recognize that name. She also wrote, what did she write? Very big song that we all, Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. And she wrote this as well. It's a prayer for peace.
Like name this tune.
And I'm going to teach you the refrain in case you don't know it. It says, Lu Yehi means if only it could be, and meaning we're talking about peace, if only peace could be. And then it says, Anna. Anna in Hebrew is like please. It's one way, it's a beseeching kind of word. Anna. So it has a beseechment to it. And then Kol shenevakesh means all that we ask is Lu Yehi, that peace could be. And it goes like this. And you'll see it transliterated, indented on near the top on the left side of the page. It goes, Lu Yehi, Ana, Lu Yehi, Kol shenevakesh, Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana, Lu Yehi, Kol shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. עוד יש מפרש לבן באופק, מול ענן שחור כבד, כל שנבקש לו יהי. ואם בחלונות הערב אור נרות החג רועד, כל שנבקש לו יהי. לו יהי, לו יהי, אנא לו יהי, כל שנבקש לו יהי. לו יהי, לו יהי, אנא לו יהי, כל שנבקש לו יהי. And if you're singing the verses with me, I'm going to jump to verse number 3. בקול ענות אני שומע, קול שופר וקול טובים, קול שנבקש לו יהי. לו תשמע בתוך כל אלה, גם תפילת אחד מפי, קול שנבקש לו יהי. לו יהי, לו יהי, אנא לו יהי, כל שנבקש לו יהי. לו יהי, לו יהי, אנא לו יהי, כל שנבקש לו יהי. And I also heard it like this. Let it be, oh, let it be, כל שנבקש, let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be, כל שנבקש, לו יהי.
Thank you, Cantor Addie. It's so hopeful to think about peace. It's hard to think about peace today, but it's so important. It's what we end the Kaddish with. The song of peace, Oseh Shalom. We'll end Kaddish tonight with Oseh Shalom. You guys stay up here. Okay. You stay up here. We can never decide, should everybody sit down when the rabbi gives the sermon, stay up here? And I say, just stay up here. It's not going to be that long, I promise. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This week's Parsha Re'eh is about the power of seeing, not just sight, but insight. How many people here grew up in a Reform synagogue? So you might think about when the rabbi used to say, please rise for the watchword of our faith. Do you remember that? What was that prayer? The Shema, right? So it's called the watchword of our faith, but it's all about listening, because Shema is about listening. Shabbat is very much about our senses, like ra'eh, seeing, hearing. And there is such an emphasis on beauty in Judaism. Chidur mitzvah, a mitzvah to make things beautiful. It's why, look at our stained glass windows. Every Shabbat, we have this incredible opportunity. In the morning, if you're in here on Saturday mornings, the light is just pouring through as the sun rises, and at night, it comes through that's fire, and that's water. And I was just thinking back to the first time I came to Temple Emanu-El in 1997 to interview for my job here. And I was brought into the main sanctuary, and right before I interviewed, they said, "This is going to be your hallway if you get this job. This is going to be your hallway." And I thought, oh, I'm taking this job. And they put a rainbow flag up there for me because I was the first lesbian rabbi. You see it? So I think about how important sight is and our senses on Shabbat. Oneg Shabbat, when we go afterwards and we eat and we drink together. Beauty, music and singing, eating food, making love. All of our senses are supposed to be enlivened during Shabbat. And then Havdalah, the very end of it, after 25 hours, is basically a ritual all about our senses. Seeing the light of the candles, smelling the spices, blessing and drinking the sweetness of the wine, to remind us to take a little bit of this beauty of Shabbat into the other 6 days. Judaism is a very embodied and a spiritual tradition, but it says that we have to have faith in a God that we cannot see. In fact, we're prohibited from seeing God. In Exodus chapter 33, it says, "You cannot see my face, for humanity cannot see me and live." How can sight be so important if we can't even see this God? There's so much Shema, so much listening, and not a lot of being able to see. In fact, tonight, did you notice some of us covering our eyes during the Shema? This idea of we should be listening so much to what's going on, we need to close our eyes so that one sense can take over the sense of listening and hearing when we close our eyes. Did anybody here remember the movie Coda? Children of Deaf Adults? It was one of the most, Marcia Cantaretti, she's saying yes in American Sign Language. It was one of the most profound movies to me because I often thought about how difficult it would be to live in the world without sight. And it wasn't until I saw that movie, I really recommend that movie, that I understood how profound it would be to live without hearing, how difficult it would be, and how important that sense is. We have 5 senses, and yet we're told there is a 6th sense. Anybody know what is the 6th sense? Memory? It could be memory. Some people think the 6th sense is intuition or telepathy or maybe even proprioception. Empathy. You know, proprioception is that it's what kind of, you watch the Olympics and see those gymnasts actually flying through the air and upside down and twisting. Proprioception is what allows them to keep their bodies in space without spinning out. But I think that the 6th sense is actually our soul. It's not physical. The 6th sense is what the other 5 senses can't perceive. And that's why it doesn't matter if you're ra'eh, which is seeing, or shema, hearing. You really, as a Jew, need to employ your 6th sense, this sense that our soul is alive, especially on Shabbat. So I want to invite you all to think about what it means during this month of Elul that you're going to bring whatever that divine presence into your life is. And I'm going to give you just 2 examples of the 2 extremes of our prophets and the way that they perceived God. One is Ezekiel's perception of God. And I think sometimes when I read Ezekiel that he was a psychonaut, that he was definitely doing psychedelics in the Bible because of the way he describes this chariot of fire. Ezekiel says, "When they moved," describing God, "I could hear the sound of their wings like the sound of mighty waters, like the sound of Shaddai, a tumult, like the din of an army. When they stood still, they would let their wings droop. From above the expanse over their heads came a sound. It was the semblance of a throne like sapphire on top. There was shaking and trembling." There was a lot of noise for Ezekiel. But Elijah, it said, "Come out and stand on the mountain before God." And God passed by, and there was a great and mighty wind, splitting mountains and shattering rocks by God's power, but God was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but God was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake there was fire, but God was not in the fire. And after the fire, a soft murmuring sound, also known as a still, small voice. Ezekiel had this powerful perception of the noise, the thunder, the lightning, kind of like Mount Sinai. And Elijah just had this still, quiet, small voice. And both of the prophets felt the presence of the divine in their life. So I wonder what each one of us needs to not listen to in order to listen to ourselves and listen to what we need to do, the work that we need to do this year for this month before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And I want to end with two beautiful pieces. One is from Rabbi Alan Liu, the author of This Is Real and You Are Completely Unprepared. If you haven't read it, Rabbi Noah Westreich is going to be doing an Elul book group on Wednesday nights. It's a great book. This is real and you are completely unprepared. I read it every single year because it feels like there's something that we are unprepared for spiritually each year, and it changes. He says, look, pay attention to your life. Every moment of it is profoundly mixed. Every moment contains a blessing and a curse. And that's what actually Ra'eh talks about. Look, see, choose between blessing and curse. He says everything depends on our seeing our lives with clear eyes, seeing the potential blessing in each moment as well as the potential curse, choosing the former, forswearing the latter. Finally, Yehuda Halevi has this beautiful piece thinking about, well, maybe not everybody believes in God. But each one of us, even if we don't believe in God, believes in something. Even if it's hard, as some people come to me and say, I can't believe because I don't know what God is, and I don't like the word God. So I'm going to give you permission. Let go of the word God and think about something that is greater than you, something you can have faith in, something that is there to nurture and comfort you when you are feeling despair, something to uplift us, something to give us hope when it seems like there's a lot of darkness. Because I think if we really search our souls during Elul, we'll find that we are seeking out whatever that is, even if you don't call it God. I don't think God cares what you call God. Just that you believe and you act like you're in partnership with God. Yehuda Halevi, the philosopher and the poet, wrote, I have sought your nearness. With all my heart have I called you. And going out to meet you, I found you coming toward me. Shabbat Shalom. So with that, I invite you to look into something in the next month, whether it's a book club or our meditation in the Redwood, something. We're doing a meditation in the Redwood before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur this year because people said they loved it so much on Yom Kippur. So whatever it is in the next month, do something a little bit more for your soul to think about what it is you need to fix that is broken. We're going to turn now for the Aleinu to page 282. Please rise.
Aleinu. It's on us.
Aleinu, 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 Aleinu,
Aleinu, it is upon us. The Aleinu gives us permission to not only be ourselves, but as this holy period over the next month of Elul, that we can be our own beloveds, we can treat each human being as though they themselves have embodied the spirit of the divine, and that this Rosh Hashanah, as it approaches, gives us this opportunity. Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, the beginning of all change.
Vayom
We turn now to a moment of memory. We think of those who are no longer with us, and we begin with those who are not yet laid to rest. Audrey Larman. We also think of those who are observing Shoshim, those who passed in the past 30 days. Ken Bragar, Shai Daron, Rebecca Newman, Robbie Lynn Rusher, Joanna Hartstein, Suzanne Eleanor Engelberg, Susan Wojcicki, John Larson, Philip Miller, Edwin Walter, Peter Joselo, Galina Marianchik, Anya Bernstein Bassett, Maddie Alperton, Judith Israel, Stephen Goddard, and Mark Mordechai Weitzman. We also think of those members of our community whose yortzeit, the anniversary of their passing, is at this Shabbat. Sheila Edelberg, Sylvia Berger, Benjamin Breyer, Micah Beisel, Ann Kaspers, Jerry Delheim, Gerald Ecker, Anna Bayard Ernst, Donald Fine, Milton H. Firestone, Cecilia Fox, Michael Friedman, Iris Ellen Rosen-Friedman, Michael Gurman, Lawrence Skinocchio, Diane Gold, Gary E. Haas, Gerald Havner, Maury Heller, Ralph Hesekiel, Mikkel Hirsch, Rebecca Hochman, Holly Howard, Jeanette Jacobs, Sydney Kalish, Norman N. Katz, Barbara Coet, Emma N. Kraus, Joseph H. Kushner, Arthur Liebert, Maxine Long, Diane Melnick, Kathy Neuschatz, Doris Ruth Page, Matilda Farber Pearlstein, Jack Pollock, Lillian Price, Ruth Radlow, Barbara Newhouse Reese, Ronald Rubin, Irving Siegel, Roberta Seed, Rusty Selix, Jenny Shenshin, Jack Schwartz, Gerald Siegel, William Siegel, Burton Sperber, Max Spiegelman, David L. Spiegelman, G. Bert Stoff, Richard Toll, Fira Yudadovsky, Leonid Ehrman, James Vezina, Henriette M. Vorsanger, Alfred Wilner, Dorothy F. Weiner, Susan Winograd, Elliot Winograd, and Miriam Lewis Zarefsky. If there is anyone who you are remembering this evening, someone that's on your heart, I invite you to share their names out loud with our community as my hand passes over the room.
Sandy Bressler. Rabbi Michael Lerner.
Audrey Larman.
Invite the mourners, those who are observing a yortzeit or shoshim this evening, to please rise. And then we rise as one community for the Mourners Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayeh dekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudsha, b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Say shalom bimromav. Hooyah, say shalom aleinu.
If you're comfortable, you can put your arm around the person next to you.
Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imru. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. All right, I think it's time for Kiddush and Motzi. We're going to invite Tallulah and Ines up.
Special thank you to our beautiful musicians, Colum Orion, Eric Schoen, and Dan Zimmelman. Thanks, y'all. You make our Shabbat so beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
You guys ready?
Let's join them.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehillah v'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim vanu v'charta ve'otanu hidashta mikol V'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava pratzon hinhaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Hashem.
Shabbat Chaim. L'chaim, take a sip of that amazing juice. Tastes just like Manischewitz, but it's not. All right. Come on out here, Benot, and we're going to have you hold this for us.
On your way out, everybody, just be sure to take your prayer book with you and drop it off in the cart on your way out.
And don't forget about Hen Mazig, who will be here the weekend of
September
9,
13th.
12, 13, and 14.
September 12th.
That's right,
Yeah.
September 12th and 13th. And if you want to study some Torah, tomorrow morning, right here, 10:15 to 11:15, in person. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Good going, you guys. You have a little holla. Have a little holla.
That's a good opener.
It's totally a good omen. Have some holla. Yes?
Everything is illuminated.
Yes.
Said the Jews have 6 cents.
Memory. Yep.